2. It's crazy. But Nelson Velazquez is here. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you, sir.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to both of you.
Thanks. Again, you got to know Nelson if you listen to the show. He's done some guitar playing on here. We've done some creative things together here. He's an improviser, actor, comedian, all-around good guy, and does a lot of great work sort of handling the improv teaching from the south side of town, which it's okay with me. We can share. We can share.
You know what? We've got you go west side, I'll go east side.
Right on.
I think we're good.
And again, the big part again of the Crown Point group. Thanks for helping the kids out there.
Yeah.
How you been? It's been a while. Again, I follow you on Facebook. I see you get some corporate gigs here and there, and obviously we want to hear about Shamilton.
Yeah.
Which I haven't seen yet.
But you need to come. Well, I've been busy, as you know.
I know. I mean, if there's an open spot in the calendar, you'll make room if any way, shape, or form to just fill the slot with fun and
to fill the hole as an actor that I am, to fill that hole.
It is good.
I just keep myself busy so I don't deal with those inner demons.
It's probably the best, right? I mean, more reps. I mean, I can tell you that. I mean, even the worst player on the worst day, I was horrible when I first began. You can become efficient at least to have fun and know the basics. Reps, I mean, you're always out there getting reps. You're in the Los Improviachis.
I like that.
Did I say it right?
You said it absolutely beautifully.
And that's a fun group. With CIF coming, are you guys participating?
Yeah, so Chicago Improv Festival opens at the end of the month, starting the last week of April, going into the 1st of May. Yeah, Los Improviachis is playing. We're playing Friday, March 31st at 10 p.m. at the Athenaeum Theater. Now, if you didn't know this, CIF has somewhat contracted. It's expanded by contracting. So before, we were in about 14 to 16 venues before. Yeah. And by we, it's not me. It's really Chicago Improv Festival. But I'm part of the community, therefore.
We all are. Yeah.
And so the festival itself was a lot wider, not necessarily bigger.
Right.
They've consolidated a majority of the acts into basically 2 different theaters. So they're going to be playing at the Athenaeum Theater on the north side and Stage 773 with other shows happening at Second City and other various venues here and there. I don't know if you saw your Facebook, but they just got Rachel Dratch showing up to the Chicago Improv Festival.
Whoa.
Well, she's from here.
Yeah. So she's going to be doing a show with Scott Adsit. I want to say on the 1st of April. Yes. They're going to be doing a show over there at the Athenaeum. So you definitely want to go check that out.
She's extremely funny. Yeah. I even watched her show that she was, essentially just a producer. I don't know if you saw it. I can't remember the name of it. Gosh, she was a waitress sort of. It was a sketch show with guys just like you. Right. And again, it's not on anymore, I don't think. But again, she's from the IO group. I've been to parties where she was at. I've seen Scott Adsit at a few parties. Mm-hmm. I've seen him perform. If you don't know Scott, he's the bald guy from 30 Rock.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And very funny. And I mean, one show I saw him in, literally there was a live proposal during the show that someone sort of got Susan Messing to sort of inspire, and it was the neatest thing. Like, they invited these 2 up on stage, and the gal didn't know anything, but the guy did. And there was 4 players: TJ, Scott Adsit, Susan, and I want to say maybe Mark Sutton were playing all together. And it was a restaurant scene. They all figured out a way to sort of neatly and sort of you didn't see it happen. They sort of found ways to excuse themselves from their little room they built. And as soon as they were gone, boy, he dropped to one knee and.
Now, Susan being Susan, did she critique him on his proproposal?
I don't know. I can say this: he did drop the ring, and I have asked her about it since, and I've heard that didn't work out actually.
No, it's bad luck. You drop the ring. Plus, any woman who picks it up, you're instantly engaged to. That's the rule.
Right.
That's a 5-second rule.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the thing. I went and rolled it right off the table, or right off the stage.
You're like everybody just stands around it, like in football. When they don't want it, they're like just standing around it, holding your hands up.
Right. What's that? It's poison, right? Or they say, don't touch the ground. Oh, no. Lava, hot lava line.
2 guys break their ankles diving away from it. Yeah.
But Nelson and I, and of course, Don, we're all happily married. How long have you been married?
We've been married since 1994, so we're coming up on 23 years.
All right, we're at 22, so we were 95. How about you?
11 years in May.
That's excellent. Well, you're much younger than us, so.
Yeah, and better looking.
This is true.
You're aging really, really well.
You are.
Thank you.
Smooth.
And again,
Smooth,
I know that like you wake up and you're out of bed, and you're already decked. You got the jacket on. I mean, you're dressed in a way that people want to know who you are. I think.
I do that on purpose. Me and Goodwill have a really good relationship, and
we mentioned Goodwill.
All actors know Goodwill. Yeah.
And this is the way I look at it. I try, especially when it comes to my craft, right? You have to exude a sense of and can do things that the normal person cannot do.
Fake it till you make it,
right.
baby.
Right.
That's what
and
I say.
Dress like it.
Yeah.
Dress like you are better than the average Joe. And even if it costs you $7 to put a suit together, continue it.
I think if he figured out at an early age, he's got a great line for the contours of a jacket.
There we go.
Elbows, shoulders.
Yes.
Just a stately man.
Everything like that. And again, if you want to learn improv, I know he'll tell us about your next upcoming deal. If you're in the Crown Point area, what's out there? Again, we know I can talk about beatniks and the toll.
Yeah,
tell us what's in Crown Point.
Let me tell you what's going on.
We know there's a comedy thing around the square, right? We're that sort of stand-up kind of place, though.
Yeah, well, we've from a Makeshift Up perspective, and that is Makeshift Up with an F.
Shift.
Yes, absolutely.
What a great name.
Want to make sure we get that. We are doing a lot of touring, meaning we're getting out of Crown Point a little bit, and we're going to be doing shows up in different places. We are actually going to the 4th Street Theater on Sunday, 4th Street Theater in Chesterton, and doing a show out that way. Then we're coming back to Cedar Lake and doing a show for the Knights of Columbus. So we're doing a little charity work while we're out there. And, we are also starting up a residency starting next month on Thursdays over in Hobart, Indiana. We're going to be doing the Art Theater. So we're going to be doing weekly improv shows, bringing in outside acts, having stand-ups like Mr. Don over here, and actors such as yourself.
I have performed at the Art Theater when it was owned by Scott Fried. In fact, when he bought it.
Yep.
Well, you guys know
Scott.
You guys know him. He's involved a little bit with the things we've seen, I think. And he said he had me in mind when he bought it. It has since changed hands.
Yes, it has.
But similarly, sort of dinner theater guys. Again, the Art Theater is one of the neatest places ever. The murals, right, on the walls have been. People have been dying to get their hands on these pieces piece by piece. This is how neat this place is. Yeah. And that's just the size of the stage.
Yeah, it's 425 seats in that place. So, it's nothing to shake a stick
way.
at.
And again, they still got movies. They still have Rocky Horror.
Rocky Horror will be there. They're starting up in April.
Midnight.
And they're also doing movies. They're bringing in bands to do it. So I'm kind of in charge of the comedy for Thursdays, maybe even going to Saturdays, depending on how well people come out. So hopefully the WJOB Familia will come on out and support this.
That's where we've done show. I mean, we did a show with our group was called. We just made one up for the night kind of thing. But Susan and TJ played after we did on that very stage, and we've had an improvised Shakespeare on that stage, and some great players like Jake Schneider and Joe Burton and Greg Hess. And
the great thing about the Art too is after the show, I mean, you've got all those great little places to stop in and get yourself a little nightcap or a nice bite to eat afterwards.
And I thank those folks. Those folks have been really, again, when we threw shows where we sold 400 tickets for that place, we were lucky enough to have some of those areas be very supportive of us, throw us a few dollars for some marketing to get their names on posters and things.
Yep.
And the bigger they were, the more we ended up hanging out there after the show. So it all evened out or worked better. And I mean, we had some fundraisers for the firemen out there in Hobart. And again, Art Theater is such a neat place. I'm in. I mean, let me know what you need. I could be your boy Friday or something.
Yeah, I would.
That place could really pop because again, there's not a bad seat in the house, and there's plenty of them.
Right, and like as you know, and as you've participated in. We're trying to build a community of improv outside of Chicago. No diss to Chicago. Chicago is awesome. It is the birthplace of improv. But we also know that there is so much talent in the area that we need to invest in and that we need to foster so that we can make something out of it. And I think this is a really good step forward.
And then you said
that
you never know when the next Rachel Dretch or Scott Adsit or Nelson Velazquez,
Don Bernacky, or Ron Harlow
pop right up and take advantage of the great position. Again, guys, SNL. I mean, I'm sure you know. You've probably met Vanessa at some point over these years. Vanessa Baer's been on the show, geez, almost a half a decade now, and no signs of her leaving. And that's really my goal. Again, if you want to do it here, gosh, we'd love to save you the trip and the hassle.
Right, absolutely.
Let's do it here. But if if you're going to you're chasing the golden ring, it's 30 miles away.
Right.
And why not get it here some and be a little bit ahead of be a bigger fish in a bigger pond there because you were able to secure some stuff right here in your backyard where you'll be a little more comfortable. Good Lord, I can talk about my first day. Again, I read the book 6 times before I went because they had some health concerns. And if I'm going to take this first class, it's going to be Sharon that teaches the class. She walked in the door. She said, "Everybody on stage." My heart almost jumped out of my chest. I was like, "I'm not kidding." I remember that. I thought a bug or something. Somebody shot me. Someone. I mean, literally, I felt it, guys, and it's never happened before or since. And I'm not kidding. It was a scary, scary moment, but. We are, again, you'll agree with me, we're all about support. I mean, once you get in your space and you really realize these people are to laugh with you, and even though they're laughing at you, that's really with you because you're doing it right.
Right, and just like in getting that sense of community, that's really what...
That's what I
love. I love the fact that I know when I walk into an improv group that I'm not going to get hated on. It's all about support first.
Absolutely.
And that's great.
So I go there specifically for the isolation of stand-up.
I can feel that. There's nothing like doing this show for other stand-ups and feeling that, isn't that?
I think you guys are the best of the best. I mean, really, there is no safety net for you. I can always just sort of, if I got nothing, I can just sort of, Nelson, yes, just shake my head and I can get a laugh, right, essentially.
I'll just do my John Wayne impression from The Family Guy. That's right.
Yeah.
Hey there, Pilgrim. I'm John Wayne.
Again, I agree with you, Hunter Hart. We got a lot of things going here in the region, a lot of reasons to expand this, because the more I talk about improv, even the group I have, they're all my age or older. So I mean, not all.
Well, and
they're actually doing well, and they didn't start till they were 55, 60.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about Northwest Indiana. Not that Chicago is exclusionary to folks above the age of 25, but you've got a lot of young cats, and it's great to have a scene that those of us who are above the age of 30
referencing exactly.
Yes.
Referencing is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's great. It's great when we can talk about Starsky and Hutch in a scene and not have half the group look at us like
without opening a George and say, "You want to wear this Starsky and this nice Hutch I have here?" Because I have no idea what you're talking about. Hey, we got to take one more quick break. Give Nelson a call if you got a question. Again, if you're south of Chicago or south of the region here, Crown Point Community Theater definitely teaching. Is it 8 weeks of improv?
Yeah, it's 8 weeks. Yeah, we don't have any classes currently scheduled, but if you guys have the demand, we will.
Right on. I'm always pounding the pavement. I mean, I've done 4 classes now in a year and a half or so, and it's just like at the last minute, 3 will jump in to make it not 3. We turn it into 6 or 7.
Yeah.
All right. And I don't know. I've been lucky so far. I mean, obviously the show here doesn't hurt. And if you want to get involved, PM me, call Debbie, call me, 805-0942. It is so much fun. I always talk about it. It's March 6th was my 11-year anniversary from that. Dish, by the way. On my heart, jumping out of my chest.
Can you say that on the radio? I can. Tony, you got a cough button or something for that? That was
right.
I got the button right here.
This is still Lent, sir.
I thought you gave that
St.
up.
Patrick's Day be doggone. All right.
I don't remember what I did for fun before I did this. And I'm not saying I was a horrible guy, but man, I'm like, geez, how less rewarding was my life?
It's one decade of beads.
I'm even better than my wife, right? Do you agree? I mean, I'm more feeling, I'm more outgoing.
Yeah.
Certainly, there's ups and downs.
Yeah, my wife has put up with a lot.
Mine too. So high five to the wives.
Yeah, high five.
All right, guys. Be right back. AM 1230 FM 104.7 WJOB. All right, back in the studio, Harlow 522, 8 minutes away from West Lacocious in Purdue Northwest Sports Insight, the longest-running show here at WJOB. Obviously, going into the weekend, we're excited. I'm sure we're going to have some Maryville basketball, and we got some traffic.
For sure. Yes, fresh new accident. There's a multi-car accident just happened, westbound 8094 Burnham Avenue traffic is backing up to Indy. Again, that's a multi-car accident westbound 8094 from Vernon to Indy. So be careful if you're out that way.
Dang.
Yeah.
Again,
Drive safely tonight.
Drive safe. Drive slowly. Keep your lights on. Get a double D.
Yeah.
And Don just said, if you're a designated driver, people have to pay for your food.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
It works out really, really well.
It's awesome. Very
and then
cool.
stop for gas a whole bunch of times.
I tell folk, again, you know what? There's people out there that don't even know what Hamilton is yet. Now, I only know, of course, it's Alexander Hamilton, and a riveting show for all ages. And, like, if you want to go, you'll get your tickets in about 18 months. Is that how it works?
Yeah, and
People
about
love
thousands of
about
dollars.
$200-$300 a piece.
a pop.
Yeah.
And people are just not a problem. All right, tell us a little about the show itself. Have you seen it yourself?
I have bootlegged it.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
I've
bootlegged it. It's not the same. I can't divulge how I'm trying to get tickets, but let's just say I'm trying to get them.
I've had friends tell me, like, text this number every day. They give away
Right.
2 across
Right.
the nation. It's that big a deal. Why is it that big a deal? I mean, Cats and Cabaret.
It's because
whatever.
it is doing something that nobody really thought about, putting so many different elements of theater that have been missing for so long together.
So everybody that's got any strain to theater can find a reason to connect.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I love the fact that there is a diverse cast. It's blind casting in the sense of, like, other than gender,
age.
but color, age. It's character driven, and the fact, I mean, the hip hop element of it is really, I mean, I'm old school. I'm an old school hip hop head, so it's bringing that element, but not the cheese element of it, and it's written in such a way from the perspective of tying something that's modern from a hip hop perspective to something that happened in history that you can relate with, and that's like the key. That's what Lin-Manuel figured out to do, and I think that's it's a hit because of those casting.
Well, right.
reasons.
I mean, you want water cooler type stuff. You don't want to go to the show and say, "I can't really describe Blue Man Group. It was a big marshmallow by the end. It was.
I had a
gross,
lot
but
of toilet paper fall on my
right.
head.
I mean,
That's what I remember.
That is, you see it, you sort of you appreciate it, but I can't really tell you other than the water and lots of crazy colors. It was awesome. I love it. I've seen it twice.
Yeah,
but this is, if you want, again, this invokes a dialogue, which again moves things. It's
Right.
obviously in the stage version, it legitimizes hip hop even that much more.
And also, it kind of, I mean, there's such a parallel between what happened then to what's happening now. I mean, if you want to think about it and I didn't make this up,
history repeats itself. But
Hamilton was gangster from a hip hop perspective. He was gangster. I mean, he came from nothing, made himself up to be something.
Yeah.
Through
power,
his and everybody can
force
relate
of
with
will.
that.
Yeah, he was an outsider.
Right.
Really. And all the founding fathers, to a certain extent, really had that sort of, we see them as like these guys who were sort of sanctified. But remember the risk and the rowdiness that existed from there. These guys founded America while they were hoisting steins, while the Sons of Liberty were going on. These guys would have been into this style of rap. This was their life. The struggle that comes out in the music and the risk that they were taking is something that you'll find from those people who are on the edges of society today, and that hunger that they have to be at the top. Yeah, they didn't start there. They didn't start on money.
Oh, nobody does. I mean, it was just 7 years ago. I've been doing radio now, and I mean, I didn't know how to turn the microphone on. I didn't even know how to connect to any listener. I didn't know how to be loose. I didn't know how to be me. You know what I mean? Everything takes time. Now you are in a show. We were casting a show. Is it still going?
Yeah, it's still going on.
Shamilton.
Yes.
Now, what's the curveball?
So Shamilton is it's a musical based on a historical figure that people can afford to go to.
Okay.
That's the biggest reason. But it's also an improvised musical. So what we do
Is
is
it $10?
It is it's 20. It's 20 for the night.
2 Hamiltons.
Yes, 2 Hamiltons worth. Absolutely.
Not 10.
So the premise is we improvise a 45 to 65 minute musical based on a historical figure that we get from the audience, and we do it in the style of a Hamilton type show.
Okay.
So, we get nice and dressed up and look very,
Perfect.
very, very colonial.
You're probably lending stuff out, right? You're like, oh, I got something perfect for you.
But I mean, we have such powerhouse people in this show.
Tell us about it for a few. I mean,
we have Erica Alam, we have Rob Wilson, we have Nathan Jansen. We got me.
Nathan Jansen, I know.
Yeah.
He's got a big head like me. I like him.
Absolutely, his head's huge. Actually, he's down in Australia right now doing the Fringe Festival.
He does not know me from Adam, by the way.
crazy.
So don't even say you know Harlow. I'm just a fan.
Okay,
Tell him
okay.
I'm just a fan.
Yeah, but I mean, there's just so many good people that are attached to it, and very diverse cast as well. So we've got all kinds of color in the show, and showcasing that.
Could you do a little bit of that right now for us?
could.
If I were to give you
You could give me a beat.
if I give you a beat and a figure,
Can you give me a historical figure here? I'll open the
Joan of Arc.
Joan of Arc. Can you give me some facts about Joan of Arc?
she was burned at the stake.
Burned at the stake.
Okay, she God spoke to her that she was going to lead the French against the English,
French against the
and
English.
that she would restore the French monarchy to its rightful place.
Okay, cool. Burned at the stake.
Didn't she
French
ride the
English.
side saddle? The horse come into who was that? Oh, that was Aphrodite.
You're thinking about Lady,
Lady
Godiva, who
no.
cruised in there wearing nothing but a smile.
Right, yeah. That's not the one.
Well, and Ron, what's a made-up fact about her?
Joan of Arc, she was the original idea she offered the original idea for the golden arches.
Oh, I like that. All right. I need a beat of some sort.
I can do some.
Are we going to do this? Here?
I can do this a little
Give
bit.
the beat. I'll give the bass.
I know. It depends on what you want.
Sorry, slow it down. All right, here we go. Yo, how does a girl who's out there who is in the forest grow up to be a Lady Joan of Arc, huh? You know that she never will bench anybody over her because she is French. Now, I know that she had a great bod and she heard this voice that came down from God that said that she had to fight. She had to really fight. She went out there with all of her might. And though she went out there killing, everybody knows what she was feeling. They say, yo, that isn't really whack. And she says, yo, give me that. A Big Mac. That's how McDonald's got their sandwich. Put it in her face and you know it wasn't switched. At the last minute, you know she can bake because she was burned at the stake. Her name was Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc.
Boy.
Joan of Arc.
Still
She
smoking.
ain't no farce. Joan of Arc.
Yeah.
Fresh.
Word to both of your parents.
Yes.
Great, guys. Great having you. You're welcome. Friday's got to be the day, though. Don't come on a Tuesday. Nobody wants.
we'll do Friday.
Friday's got to be the fun day. Shamilton, where and when?
Apollo Theater in Chicago, 10:30 on Fridays.
Right. May 5th.
May 5th, Crown Point High School Auditorium, 7 p.m.